All right, I am restarting reading out loud Orlando Furioso because it is a copyrighted translation. I am not reading that out publicly, so this is sort of all you get. This and probably the odd discussion video where daily I will do little chunks from a canto, like 10 or 15 or 20 stanzas, and depending on how enthusiastic I am. But I figured I'd go back and I would look at Canto 23. And indeed, I've kind of gone through the bits of Zerbin and Isabella getting reunited after Zerbin is betrayed by Gabrini, who blames him for the death of Pinello, who actually got killed by Bradamante, I believe it was. Have to, that's things. But it's there. We get Orlando coming upon the evidence of the love of Medoro and Angelica, the woman that the Sarsen princess that he is deeply, deeply in love with, and he finds her their names carved into all sorts of things in lovers knots covered things, and then finally he comes regardless of her royal status as the daughter of the greatest of kings of the Levant. Although Medoro has the rank of common soldier, yet she clings to him and wants him only for her spouse. When to its ends the narrative he brings, the shepherd shows the countess the precious gem which fair Angelica had given him, basically proof that this indeed was Angelica, and that yes, this woman loves this common soldier Medoro and not him. And so stanza 121, this was the axe which at one final blow his head then severed from Orlando's neck. For love the slaughterer now was sated now with endless batterings, though at this wreck of all his hopes, Orlando, not to show his grief, all signs of it attempt to check, yet willy-nilly from his mouth and eyes sorrow comes flooding forth in tears and sighs. So yes, he is completely devastated by this. He's beheaded by this, by love's axe. And 123, then in his travails, suddenly he knows that in this very bed on which he lies, his love has lain, and often in the close embrace that nothing of herself denies, no less abhorrence now Orlando shows, and no less quickly from that couch he flies, than we may see a startled peasant leap, who spies a snake where he lay down to sleep. So it's like, oh my God, I'm on the bed where they fucked. And that whole thing of a startled peasant leaping from a snake, it's like, I think we're getting some allusions to body parts of Medoro there. And so he immediately flees the house. And what does he say? These are no longer tears I weep, he says, streaming so copious from my eyes. The tears were insufficient which I shed to stay my grief, which all relief defies. The vital humours now by passion sped, through secret conduits to my orbs arise, and thence these now exude, and with them pours my life, thus ebbing to its final hour. So it's the humors, which is what they at this point they believed kind of made up the human body. He's actually weeping though. And indeed, he feels like he has died. I am not he, I seem. He who Orlando was is dead and gone, slain by his lady, so untrue to him, by her ingratitude, alas, undone. I am his spirit, whom the fates condemn to suffer this dread infernal zone, no body but a shadow, which must rove, a warning to all those who trust in love. Which, he never actually, it's like they didn't have any agreement. Untrue to him. It's like she was never, there was never that kind of relationship. Orlando, you've decided that there's this relationship, but that's how he thinks. And so we get him wandering through the forest all that night. 129, of his great wrongs blazoned for all to read, no dram in all his blood was not on fire with hatred, fury, rage, and wrath and ire. And so he ends up cutting and destroying everything that has all these lovers carvings on it. He destroys the very spring so crystalline and pure from onslaught such as this was scarce secure. His grief so swells, his sorrow so amassed, that madness clouds him, in which long he erred. Next, his clothing he begins to tear, laying his matted paunch and torso nude. 134. His rage and fury mount to such a pitch they obfuscate and darken all his senses. Even his sword he leaves behind, from which it may be judged the midst of madness dense is. But neither sword nor scarce sacramas so rich a crop could scythe. Unarmed, his strength immense is, and bare-handed he uproots at the first blow a tall and noble pine and lays it low. This is really, so we're into like, we are into like the superhero, realm. And we're the end, and other pines after the first he pulls, as if so many fennel stalks they were. Tall oak and seasoned elm likewise he culls, and beech and mountain ash and larch and fir. As a bird catcher who, before he galls his prey with cunning nets, the ground will clear of stubble, nettles, reeds, so now the Count rips forests up, as if no account. 136, the final stanza. The shepherds who have heard the fearful sound, anticipating some calamity, their sheep abandon, scattered all around, and at top speed come running out to sea. But if this point today I go beyond, too tedious perhaps my tale will be, and I would rather now cut short my song than weary you by making it too long. This is stanza 136 of this canto. Just when it's getting good, he cuts us short. And that is what we're leading up to, going into the next book of this this translation. It's split into two books of so we will do Canto 24 next. Oh boy. Well, I will do Canto 24 next. It will be private because I don't want to get in trouble with the copyright gods. All right, more videos later.